After healing my Pokemon, I found out that the town had experienced a bit of a tragedy just before I arrived. Team Rocket had taken to selling Cubone skulls, and while attempting to get one, they'd killed a Cubone's mother, and there seemed to be a rumor in town that Marowak's spirit was in Pokemon Tower. Fortunately, the Cubone was able to get away, and a man named Mr. Fuji was supposed to adopt it, but he seemed to be missing, and a neighbor was taking care of the Cubone while waiting for him to return. Lavender Town really wasn't the happiest place in Kanto, so I decided to leave and made my way towards the next gym. While passing through Route 8, I encountered a Meowth, and since Nezuko has pretty much retired and started living with my mother as a house pet, I figured she wouldn't mind, and so I caught the Meowth and named him Sasuke, and I actually added him to the team right away. The closest gym to Lavender Town was in Saffron City, but apparently the gate guards weren't letting anyone through for some reason. I did ask the guard for myself, and he said the road was closed, which didn't really make any sense, but who am I to question him? Fortunately, there was an underground path to Celadon City right near the gate, and since the grass-type gym is in Celadon, I figured I would go there instead. Now, for some reason, I thought that this was a shortcut. It was not. It was just a long, dark, seemingly never-ending tunnel, and I kinda wish I knew that before I tried running all the way through. Once in the open air, I decided to let my Pokemon play around in the grass a little while I caught my breath, and once I managed to drag myself to Celadon City, I realized that there was trouble, because the first person I saw was a Team Rocket grunt. Luckily, he didn't seem to want to fight, so I went into the Pokemon Center to rest my poor feet. After resting up, I was walking through the city and found out that Team Rocket had stolen something called a Silph Scope. I said that I would help get it back and marched up to the next grunt I saw to get information, but he threatened to punch me in the face. It kinda scared me a little, and I ran into the closest building, where there were two more grunts who started slowly approaching me. Naturally, I panicked and started running off, but as I passed the gym, a thought occurred to me. I've beaten Team Rocket over and over again. They are not that much of a threat. And also, what kind of future champion runs away from a fight? And so I decided I was now in Celadon for two reasons. Number one, I'm here to win my next gym badge. And number two, I'm gonna kick Team Rocket's butt and get back the Silph Scope, even though I have no idea what that is. Since the gym was right there, I decided I would do that first, and my plan for this gym was to conquer it with Kai. However, I overlooked an important detail. Even though it is a grass-type gym, most grass-type Pokemon are also poison-type Pokemon. I should know this. My starter is one of them. But clearly this posed a problem for me, and so I needed a plan B. And I had the perfect Pokemon for the job. Basby the Buzzing Beedrill. Of course he would need some training up first, so we headed off to Route 7 where there were plenty of Bellsprout for us to practice fighting against. While training with Basby, I noticed that we were being watched by a Vulpix, and having a Fire-type Pokemon would actually be really great help right now. But unfortunately, as soon as we turned our attention to it, it panicked, growled at us, and fled into the grass, never to be seen again. By the time I took Basby to the gym, he was pumped and ready to go. Not only was he immune to poisoning, but he also had two super effective moves to use, making him virtually unstoppable. Unfortunately, I forgot about the threat of paralysis. But it hardly even mattered because, like I said, he was unstoppable and powered through to take out every opponent on the way to the gym leader. Erica's first Pokemon was Victreebel, who paralyzed Basby right away. But I gave him a Cherry Berry just before we started our battle, and so he was cured right away. He hit Victreebel pretty hard with two aerial aces, but it was just short of a KO. And after that, Erica had her Victreebel paralyze Basby once again, and then healed her Victreebel, putting us at square -1. But if you think that was enough to stop Basby, you are very much mistaken. He fought through it and took out the Victreebel, and even landed a critical hit to also knock out Erica's Tangela. Basby always wanted to be a fierce fighter, and as much as I knew he wanted to solo the gym, I decided to have him sit out in the battle against Erica's Vileplume and sent in Kai instead. The Vileplume hit Kai really hard with an acid, and even though we got good damage with Peck, Vileplume then put Kai to sleep, and so I had to switch him out of battle. I sent in Kaminari next, but he didn't actually resist the poisonous flower as much as I thought he would, and so I had to switch him out of battle very quickly. I sent out Victor, who was able to put Vileplume to sleep, but Erika then used a full heal to wake it up right away, and even Victor's strongest tackle wasn't enough to knock it out. He was persistent though and kept at it, even after being hit by a stun spore. As proud as I was of Victor for pushing himself to fight, I didn't want him overdoing it, so I switched over to our fearless leader Hikaru, who dealt out the final blow to knock out the Vileplume and win us the Rainbow Badge. Even though it was great to now be halfway to being able to take on the league, having to use almost my entire team for just one Pokemon made me realize that we really need to get stronger because we couldn't just rely on type advantages anymore. Before leaving the gym, Erika gave me the TM for the move Giga Drain to use on Victor. And so, with the gym defeated, it was time to deal with Team Rocket and retrieve the Sylph Scope. Even though I still had no idea what that was.